Can y'all say brrrah? Brrrah. Great, great, great. So actually that's the hook line for my poem. So this right side, can you say brrrah? This side over here, can you say brrrah? Okay, so when I say guns don't sound like roses, y'all will say brrrah. Guns don't sound like roses. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, youth and gun violence is so real. At my school, we had a couple of students that were stabbed in the school, outside of the school. Like if you went, I was from Jane and Finch, so like if you went to certain areas in Jane and Finch, like the next day, I remember someone came up to me and was like, what were you doing in down bottom? You're not supposed to be around that area. So like, it's definitely real. Anyways, back to the poem. Can you guys say brrrah? Guns don't sound like roses. Brrrah. I recommend you use the sword instead. Guns don't sound like roses. Brrrah. I recommend you use the sword instead. If guns shot off in heaven, it would be a sign of emancipation, because every move of God is followed by the movement of sound. But when guns shot off on earth, it's a sign of incarceration, because guns pierce through the flesh and teeter-totter between life and morality. Life and morality. Now tell me, what is humanity when life turns to death? Guns don't sound like roses. Brrrah. I recommend you use the sword instead. Guns don't sound like roses. Brrrah. I recommend you use the sword instead. Clothed in the armor of God, I'm under an unction. First my salvation, then I put on righteousness. Jehovah forever, he gives me conviction. Guns don't sound like roses. I recommend you use the sword instead. Guns don't sound like roses. I recommend you use the sword instead. I recommend you use the double-edged sword as your weapon. Christ in me, so who can be against me? Who can fight the sword of the Spirit? If I feel peer pressure weighing on my chest, I will shake the heavens until the thunders cannot be contained in it. If Christ in me, then who can be against me? Guns don't sound like roses. Brrrah! I recommend you use the sword instead. Guns don't sound like roses. I recommend you use the sword instead. If guns shot off in heaven, I swear it'd be a sign of emancipation, because every move of God is followed by the move of sound. And one woman of faith will have angels moving relentlessly, breathing breathlessly, bringing her prayers to God's feet. One man of God will be praying persistently. Elohim, 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 you will bring me to your secret place and your blood will consecrate me. Elohim, 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 you will bring me to the secret place and your blood will consecrate me. Elohim, 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 you will plant me by your still waters and your peace will rest in me. Guns don't sound like roses. I recommend you use the sword instead. Guns don't sound like roses. I recommend you use the sword instead.